Hello everyone. Today I'm going to do a video called, as you can clearly tell by the title, Thrillers that are perfect to read in the summer. So I've said time and time again that I read predominantly thrillers mostly in summer and fall, and I think a lot of people do. I feel like those are the two main seasons where thrillers are read the most, hence why there are two very different types of thrillers that are released during that time, if that makes any sense. I'm actually going to do a video called Thrillers to Read in the Fall soon, obviously in the fall. But I thought today I would just do a video about thrillers that I think are perfect to read in the summer, meaning like they kind of are set near the beach area that are kind of just summer reads, like quick and fast thrillers. Honestly, I think are all kind of quick and fast thrillers because they're thrillers. They're meant to thrill you. You're meant to read them super fast, but that kind of have that summer setting. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I was trying to say. So I only have about 5 or 6 on this list. It's not a ton, but still I think all of these thrillers are just great to read in the summer months. You know, we still have a couple more months of summer, so you can do it. You can read some of these, so let's get into it. The first thriller that is perfect to read in the summer is The Night Swim by Megan Golden. I mean, this book's cover is set on the beach, so what more can you want? Also, this is a great audiobook as well. I haven't read the audiobook, but it's got a podcast element, and whenever I say a book has a podcast element into it, I can guarantee it's going to be a great audiobook. So in case you don't like listening to books on the beach, pool, and stuff, no, in case you don't like reading books at the pool and beach, you can listen to this one, or really any of these, honestly. So this book is about Rachel, who's a true crime podcast host. And I think she's like in her 2nd or 3rd season of her true crime podcast. And she actually goes to this town. What is this town called? I can't remember, but she goes to this small town and she's covering a trial that is going there. So she actually goes to the trial, records it, and talks about her podcast. There's this golden boy in this really small town that has being on trial for rape, and Rachel is covering that. So while she's doing that, she starts to get a lot of notes, like on her windshield and her hotel room, things like that, of a girl pleading for help about that her sister had died. Like, how many years ago did she die? Her sister died 25 years ago, and the girl's name was Jenny Sills. And technically, like on the certificates, things like that, Jenny Sills like died of drowning, but her sister knows that she did not drown, that she was killed, and so she's pleading for Rachel, like, please look into this. Please help me. So this book is all about like 2 kind of crimes, her investigating 2 crimes. One, if this boy really raped this girl, and if this girl really died of drowning, or was it something more. This book also takes place in 2 different timelines now, and then we go back to actually the sister's point of view, and watching her sister go through all these things and trying to figure out if her sister was drowned or not. And it's a great book. It's, like I said, it's set in a small town, small beachy town, so it's definitely got that summer vibe to it. And it is a very heavy book, obviously, because it talks about rape, so be forewarned into that. But it is a perfect book to read in summer. Like, it's a great thriller, one of my favorites. Next up is the Southern's Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. The man really loves his long titles. This book is great to read in summer because it's set in the South, in Charleston, in like the dead heat. And if you live in the South, much like myself, it is humid AF all the time, all day, all night. I think my humidity level today as I'm filming is at 97%. I'm not joking. It's horrible. But basically, this book is set in Charleston in the 90s, I believe, and it's all about this guy that comes into town and about this woman that's in this book group, and she befriends him, and she starts to maybe think that he's not normal, as in the fact that he's not a human. You could put 2 and 2 together. She goes to her book club about it because they're just suburban housewives. That's all they've been told to do. And so they want something exciting and things like that. And it kind of goes into it. It's gory. I will tell you, there's some few scenes in here that are just like, you're just going to be like maybe sleeping with the light on. But again, it's perfect to read in the summer because it's like set in the summer, I believe. I believe it's set in the summer. It's got to be. I mean, Charleston is just notoriously hot a lot. You know, the South's just kind of for that in the summer, but it's a great one to read again in the summer. This one, I would say, it's not even a thriller. I think it's a horror, so hopefully it's okay I'm putting this in here. Next up, we have The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. This is actually not my least favorite Riley Sager, but it's not one of my favorites. But it is a perfect book of his to read during the summer because it takes place at camp, which is where does camp happen usually at? In the summer. This book is all about these girls that met at Camp Nightingale. Basically, this takes place in 2 timelines. We have Emma, who is part of this group, and Camp Nightingale is closed because these other girls or found dead. Nobody knows why. Emma was like the only survivor apparently, or one that was in the cabin group that was actually left alive. And so now the camp's owner wants to reopen this camp, and she's asking Emma like, hey, you know, we're not getting the best PR because, you know, they're opening a camp which happened murder years ago, but can you come down, support the camp, maybe like be a camp counselor? And so Emma does that, and she's trying to figure out still how exactly these girls died, what exactly happened. She's trying to solve this murder. So you have that going on now, and then you go back to when Emma first went to camp when she was really, really young, and meeting all these girls and kind of the path of what happens to them. It's an interesting book. Again, like I said, it's not my favorite Riley Sager book, but it's a perfect book to read in summer because it takes place during camp, and that's a perfect thriller setting for in the summer if I have ever heard of one. Next up, I have He Started It by Samantha Downing. This is a great book to read, thriller book to read during summer, because it's all about a road trip. And when I think about road trips, I often think about summer. A lot of people are going on vacation in summer. A lot of people are taking road trips during the summer. It's kind of like the road trip season, if you will. Maybe it is. If it's not, I don't know. But either way, it makes me think of summer. So this is about three siblings that their grandfather passes away, and he had a lot of money, but in order to get that money, they have to recreate this road trip that they took when they were very, very young, and they have to like do it verbatim or they're not going to get any of the inheritance. So they're growing up now and they're taking this road trip once again and uncovering a lot of things. And yeah, they're all trying to keep secrets. It says, but money is a powerful motivator. It is for everyone. So basically you can tell something really tragic happened on the road trip that they first took so many years ago. And so they're rehashing it and things like that. It's an interesting book. The ending is one of my favorite thriller endings of all time. And again, it's got that road trip during the summer aspect. That is a perfect book to read in summer. And the last book I have is The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. This one I don't think does take place in the summer. It could take place in fall. I don't know. I really, really tried to like think of summery settings, and the only other one I could think of was Something in the Water by Liz Constantine, which I do not enjoy that book. But I mean, if you really want a book that's set like really, truly summertime, like that's about a couple that goes to Bora Bora, check it out. I just didn't love it, so I feel like I can't recommend it in this. But this one takes place, it's another kind of twofold, two timeline books. It takes place in 1982 and then also in 2017. We have a character named Carly who has never let this story about her Aunt Viv that has gone missing like go from her mind. She's always wondered about it. And so she has the chance now to go back to where her aunt actually worked at this place called the Sundown Motel to figure out what happened to her Aunt Viv. Nobody's really uncovered it. Nobody's looked into it. She's like, what has gone on? And so this book takes place during this time, and then it goes back to 1982 with Viv, who wants to move to New York City, but she needs money. So she ends up working at this place called the Sundown Motel, and it's very kind of creepy and atmospheric and all that kind of stuff. And it's a great book to read in summer because it's just a fast-paced thriller. Like when I think of summer reads, and especially summer thrillers, it's fast-paced. It's got to move along. And this one definitely kept me interested. And I don't think it was super atmospheric enough to where I can put it on my fall list of thrillers to read in the fall, but it's one I think I could put on the summer list. So yeah, those are all the thrillers I recommend reading during the summer. I'm sure a lot of you guys have a lot of great recommendations, more so than me. Like this was a very minuscule list, but hopefully if I do this yearly, it will grow and grow. Who knows? I would love to know what thrillers you would personally recommend to read in the summer that are fast-paced, kind of maybe set in a summery setting, camp, beach, you know, things like that. I would love to know. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.